Hello and welcome back to Raising Arrows Mama. My name is Heather. I am mama to 7, soon to be 8. And today we're going to talk to you about holiday schooling. So in years past, we have followed a Sabbath schedule where we took 6 weeks off during the winter holidays. And then we take 6 weeks off for our summer holiday. And then we do 6 weeks of school, 1 week off. It works out, it balances. And I share about that in another video, I believe. But anyways, I digress. My point is that last year we decided we didn't want to take such a big Christmas break because we wanted a longer summer break. Well, oh boy, the lives of mice and men, right? Life happened and we were forced to take school off. That's what happened. I went through a miscarriage and then shortly after lost my father very unexpectedly. And we just took an extended period off. But we still needed the extended summer because of other events, including, camp and, a little crazy look here, camp and just me trying to get ready for having 5. This year I have 5 that are school age. And so I needed the whole summer. And so we worked it out. We did some Saturday school, everything. But then this year we decided we were trying to follow a more traditional school schedule per my children's request. And it kind of works out with our life and the way things go. But I was contemplating, what do I do for December? I was saying we will just do regular school, like, a normal school and just power through. That's just not going to work. It doesn't fit our mentality. Then I had made a whole nother video talking about how we were going to do holiday schooling, and then life happened again. And so I'm not going to get into that, but basically what's happening is I needed to change how we're doing it per our schedule to get all our days in and still be able to take the breaks when we want to. In the spring session, we have to have school, but the glory of homeschooling is it doesn't have to look a specific way. And so our holiday schooling is going to look very similar to what we were doing, but I am going to change a few things. My kids were going to just do their regular readings, and then we were going to have change our morning time. That was going to be the only thing. But there is a high possibility that I will not be here many of the days, and my husband cannot handle regular school and morning time. And so I'm having to kind of juggle and figure out what would work. And so I was talking to my oldest, and she's like, I'd really like a break from some of my books. I know some of her sisters would. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to change our time, and I'm going to have a checklist for each of them. I was hoping to have it printed out, and I didn't get to that yet because I have no color in my printer. The basic thing is they're going to follow the same schedule. We're going to have our koinonia, which is Bible time, together over breakfast. Then they have their independent time, then a morning time, and then kind of a science life skills time. Because that's a manageable schedule for my husband. It's a manageable schedule for me with chaos going on around, as you know, the chaos that ensues as you prepare for a major holiday. We do a lot of handmade gifts, so that takes up a lot of our time, so that is accounted for. But I'm going to share what we're doing basically for holiday school. And keep in mind, it's a little bit extra because my husband he wants to make sure that we get all those things done, even if we are doing a holiday theme. So we're still trying to hit all the subjects. I think the only subject we are not going to hit this particular month is history. And I'm okay with that because we are very history heavy the rest of the year. And so let's go over what they're going to do in their independent time. So what I'm doing is making them little packets, and I'm going to bind them together. I don't have it finished. I just started the other day, but here's an example. So I have I'm going to try to cover up names if I can. I have like little coloring packets for my preschoolers because they want to do school too, right? And that's just the way it is for them. And so they have these little coloring packets that I've printed off for them. And then this is for my year 1 student. I do have hers finished. And what I'm going to do is she's learning to read. So she has this little reader that I printed. All of these I got free on Teacher Pay Teachers or just Googling. So go check those out. There's a lot of free goodies out there. But this is a little reader, and she has pictures at the back that she has to glue and put them in the right place. So she'll have to read the words and then do that. So that's going to be like her month-long project. She's kind of gung-ho, so she probably will finish in a day, but giving her a month to do it. And then she has a coloring book, just like the preschoolers, because I know she would want that. And then basically I have 3 weeks of schoolwork, and I'm going to divide it and put a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's very manageable if I'm not there. So for my first grader, because basically what I did is that during their independent time, they have to practice their instruments. All my kids have 2 instruments. So that's not new for them. They know what they're supposed to do. And then they have a language arts activity and a math activity during their independent time. and then they each have a book to read. So like for her, hers will be putting together that reading book or reading some Bob books with her daddy or picking up a Christmas picture book. And I have that listed out for each week that I need to print on the checklist for her. But every day, it's just going to be a phonics activity and math activity, and then occasionally a fun activity. So she's really into these color by code worksheets. So these are sight words. So I think she'll enjoy that because she's really been working on a lot of sight words in there. I don't care how you teach phonics. Okay, obviously I do. I don't care how you teach reading because I think phonics is the best, but there are just some words that don't follow the rules. It's English. So sight words are imperative, and so she enjoys this, so she'll enjoy that. Then I have for her letter writing pages on a couple days. She loves writing notes to people, so I just printed them out with cute little designs on them. And so she has like 1 or 2 a week of those. And then she has a math page. So like there's a little secret code one for her to do. She doesn't do math worksheets generally speaking. So that's kind of a new thing for her because we do it orally through the Charlotte Mason math. But these will be just quick, easy, fun things for them to do that still keep them on target. And like I said, what I did is I have week 1, which will be next week, or no, the week after Thanksgiving, then I have week 2 and week 3. And they just follow the same pattern where there is a math, a language arts page, and then something fun some of the days. So like, for example, if I can find it here, on the last day, I have like a little seek and find. She's supposed to color and count. So, you know, something fun that's festive for her. And so that's what my big kids and my year 1 and little kids are doing. Then my big kids for their independent time, because that's really what you want to know. You know what to do with little kids. Give them something to color and they'll have fun. I haven't organized theirs quite as neatly, but again, I'm going to bind it. I have a binding machine. If I didn't, this is a new thing for me in your spouse. I put it in a 3-ring binder. I'm old school like that. But what I do is I'm going to just have a divider for each week. And then at the top, I'm going to put those little peel and stick labels that have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so again, they have letter writing paper. Let's see here. These are their language arts. So they have Mad Libs one day each week. They have a kind of composition story starter. We don't do these very often, so I think they'll have fun with that. And each one comes with an extra page behind it because I have some wordy kids. They can draw a little picture. Again, found free on Teachers by Teachers. Word searches. So each week they'll have at least one word search. This one is actually from Secret at Liberty Lions, or for Nutcracker packet. They're going to have a crossword. Here's the answer key. Found that free online. You see a lot of nativity in Nutcracker because that's kind of our focus this time. And then they get a coloring page too. That's again from Secret. They're going to be doing a whole poetry section. So each day or each week they have one day where they focus on poems. And so I have like a how-to and then something for them to do. So I have acrostic poems, which they've already done that somewhat, but I liked this little planning page that I found free. They're going to do diamante poems or diamond poems. So that'll be something new. And there's a how-to in there. And then they're going to do 5 senses poems. So that'll be fun. We haven't done a lot of writing poetry. We read a lot. So I think they'll enjoy that. Printed out just some German worksheets for my oldest who's learning German. And then, so they'll have the same thing. They're going to have every day, practice your piano, practice whatever your other instrument is, because they vary. Read a book. They each have a book that they're going to read. That's a Christmassy theme. And then they are going to do a math page. And the math, my oldest will still do her pre-algebra because that's life of a high schooler. But the rest of them all have kind of a fun math worksheet, kind of going over some of those basic functions and reviewing. So this one is one I'm saving for the end. I'm really excited. It's a mini murder mystery. This sounds horrible. I promise I am a Christian, but murder mysteries are fun, and my kids are really into mysteries and solving problems and those kind of books. So I think they're going to enjoy doing this particular one day a week. Then also, this is kind of in my story problems section. So basically, I had a story problem for them to do every week. So one day a week, they'll do a story problem kind of thing. And yes, murder mystery. And then they also have some other story problem ones that like the 12 Days of Christmas. This will take a while. This is kind of a mixture. I got some, they have clues, they have to solve problems. And oh, this was fun for the last week. Excuse me. Last week they're going to do tessellations, which is something new. And I was going to save this for a day when Daddy's with them, because Daddy was a former math teacher, engineer. He's going to have a blast with that and might steal it from them actually. Then I have just basic function review, multiplication, and coloring numbers. So like I said, I'll put those all in a packet and have them labeled for them because the odds are that I'll only miss 2 or 3 days. That's the good news is I might only miss 2 or 3 days. That's the guaranteed part. I might miss up to 20 days, or not 20, 10 days of school because we only have 15. But I wanted to have everything planned out and ready to go, kind of like a subfolder, just in the event that that's what happens. And then it's also going to be all bound so they can just grab and go and they can finish it as needed. The main point is we're trying to keep up with our language arts skills and our math skills in this time. And then they each have a book. I I wish I could tell you which ones they were. My oldest I know is going to be reading some of my Advent for Mama books with me. My other kids, I found just like random books at the library that are coming that they haven't read before that I thought would pique their interest. They're not anything to brag about. Maybe I'll come back and share those in the future. Then from morning time, because this is manageable for my husband, is to say, hey, here's the books you need to read and just have it laid out which day is which. And we are very highly following wherever it went. By Beth at Little World Wonders. And so we're going to do weeks 1 and 2 the first week, and then week 3 would be the week that I may not be here, and then week 4. And so we're going to just follow it. She has reading, composer. So you have literature, composer, geography, a science experiment, a handicraft, and then like a cooking or life skill. And did I say geography? And so that's all inclusive in there. And that's what this book is part of. I'm not sure. I've mentioned before, I don't know if I love Maurice Sendak, but this was one that was recommended to me, and then I got the pictures, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I like him. Because I don't like where the wild things are. I know, please don't hate me. I'm the only person who does it. But anyways, we're going to be using that along with Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker and things like that. Very manageable, 15-20 minutes a day kind of activities. And then for our morning time, our koinonia, which is when we do our Bible reading, sing hymns, do recitations or scripture memory, and read some kind of Christian hero. And I'll put a video up here about where I talk about koinonia. And we're going to read through the Gospel of Luke, which is what we do every year. And then, well, we pick any gospel to read through. So this year we're doing Luke, I believe. And then we're going to use Cindy Rollins' Hallelujah through Handel's Messiah. And it's scripturally based because basically every day you have a scripture reading and then you listen. But there's some other extras in here too. We won't be doing her hymns or her poems, like recitation that she puts in here, not because they're not great, but because we've done them for 4 years in a row. So we will be having different ones that we will be placing those for this particular year. And then we will be reading a chapter of Jotham's Journey. That will be our Christian read aloud through Advent, and we'll be doing that in the morning time. So Bible, Handel's Messiah, Christian reading, a hymn. We're learning Star in the East by the Rose Ensemble. Go look it up on Google. I'll see if I can put a link in the bottom because it is just a beautiful song and we're really enjoying it, but it's not in public domain, so I can't share that. And then we're learning What Child Is This in English and Spanish. And so those are our hymns, and then we'll have a recitation piece. We'll probably just stick with Luke 2, which is our normal recitation piece for December every year, but it helps my little ones to hear the older ones say it regularly. And then our morning time will consist of what is in the Nutcracker. And I have those broken out and I have it all typed up. Like I said, I need to print it, its color, but she does a really great job of saying, here's what you need to do for the week. And so I just plug those into each day so that it's easy to follow if I'm not here. If I'm here, I'm a little more loosey-goosey. Other people, not so much. But then on top of that, we will be doing this because the science in there they're like little experiments and they're fun, but they kind of lack some of the Charlotte Mason-esque learning that I like. So we're going to also be reading portions of All Creation Waits, which is just beautiful. You have these very short stories. They're living natural history, wonderful little stories about different creatures. And so we'll be doing that. Our family read aloud or literature book will be The Bird's Christmas Carol. And honestly, I don't know much about this other than it was written by the person who wrote Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. It's short, supposed to be sweet. So yeah, that's our little Christmas read. Usually we do a Christmas Carol. That's not happening this year. Yes, that's fine. And so I don't know much about that story, but usually we do the Christmas Carol. That's just not going to happen this year. more because we've done it so many years in a row and the kids kind of would like a break. And sometimes when you come back to it after that break, you're like, oh yeah, it's an old favorite. And so that's good. And then I have a couple of Nutcracker books here that we love that we'll be adding with our readings because we have so many picture books. So every day I ask that whoever's here, whether it's me or my oldest or my husband, would read a picture book with everybody. We have so many Christmas picture books to choose from. And so here's some of them that are Nutcracker that we love. This is an Usborne. My little kids love it. Peek inside one. This is one I read when I was a little girl. Love it. It's good early to read. And this is a must-have for anybody studying the Nutcracker or who just loves the music. Granted, it has been well loved in our house, so I need to take a few pages in, so please don't judge me. But you have these pages, and then it plays. Whoops, I can't do it with the video. So it plays portions of the songs on the back. There is a composer page that goes here. Normally I have to tape it back in. And then it tells you a little bit about each song. But if you haven't found Story Orchestra, this is a series and they are the most beloved books in our home. A little bit too loved by the 2-year-old. But that is what we are doing for holiday school. So it's going to look very similar and yet different. We're going to keep our basic rhythm of koinonia, independent work, morning time, and then I said science and life skills. That's when we'll do from the Nutcracker the science experiments and like the cooking or craft projects, and also just their handicrafts because my kids are all making stuff for various people for Christmas. And then it'll be lunch, and then they have free time in the afternoon. A lot of that they spend working on their Christmas presents, as well as playing outside and all that kind of stuff. So that's a basic gist. It seems kind of overwhelming, and it's a lot more front end work than I would normally do because we are not a worksheet family. But because I won't be here, it is easier to have worksheets than try to teach how to teach a new whole different curriculum style to my husband or to whoever may be helping. And so worksheets give the kids a little break from the normal, give them a little holiday sense, and still go over those basic functions. And I think that they will enjoy that. Actually, I already showed some of them to my oldest and they were very excited, tried to steal a few of them away already. And so they're excited about that. So that's our basic holiday school. If you have any questions, let me know below. If you're taking the month off, do not feel pressure to do it. Like I said, that is what we normally do. This year has just worked out differently, and that's what it is. Life is changing and evolving as we have more kids and a much bigger variation in ages and grade levels, as well as just life in general and all the things you have to do. And you have to meet yourself where you're at and give yourself grace and flexibility, like I should talk about in my other video. Show yourself that grace, but be flexible and be realistic that there are some things you have to do. And so you just make the best of it and make it work out. And this is not, we could take the time off, but then we would go longer in the summer or we'd have to cut some of our breaks in spring. And I don't want to do that, especially with a new baby coming. So we're making it work for our family. And this is what it looks like. If you need help finding in the resources, I'll try to link as much as I can below. But also just let me know. Give me a little shout out and I will try to answer you as quickly as I can. Thank you so much for watching and have a blessed day.